Hello, good morning, good morning. So it looks like we got gold kind of setting up here a potential breakout soon. We got some range high, we got the range low right down over here. Seeing more on the daily time frame, we are moving downwards. So we're seeing a lot more bearish action. Kind of anticipated of how we were moving yesterday. We could really sense that bearish volume starting to come in. So yeah, it's quite interesting. This morning we got that daily candlestick. Instead of moving upwards, you could see more of the sellers are getting what do you call it, like into the market again. We could see this happen already from the intraday time frames. But still, today is quite interesting because it's really funny. These daily candlesticks were looking bullish, but the intraday time frames were having sell pressure, like strong sell pressure, and this daily candle is looking bearish, but the intraday time frames are having strong bullish pressure. It's kind of weird situation going on here because, you know, price technically is moving up right now. We've been moving up since the pre-London time. Still moving up bullish, and it's getting ready for a potential move soon. Got a really nice bomber clot this morning. Really nice bomber clot. So let's see on the 1 minute anything. We got this really big range over here on the 1 minute. Maybe we can kind of refine the zone a bit better here. Go on the 5. Let's see, got the range low, range high. That's 49.36. And we also got this kind of resistance right over here as well, kind of lining up with that section. Right? So if price wants to go up bullish, then the target would be around this high here by 49.82. Making the range here about 380 pips to fill that section. 380 points, right? So that's what it's currently doing right now. It's getting ready. It's accumulating a bunch of orders in here. Maybe we got a few liquidity grab type of situations happening here and right down over here, as we're still kind of like holding this range. Correct. So it's a pretty big range as well. This is like 200. I would say it's like 454 pips. 454 pips, massive range. So possibly some moves coming in here off in the middle of the ranges. We could see one little breakout situation that just played out from here to here. Trying to fill up some of this clean traffic, clean candles on the left hand side. Pretty decent push this was already. This was about a crazy 60 pips. 60 pips right off the rip. Like that. Towards the upside. So yeah, right now I think that's the major points over there to look at. Yesterday we had some really nice positions. Don't know if y'all caught that 30-minute range that we spoke about on stream, which was right over here. Beautiful melt off down towards support. Once it started breaking below that support, you know, the thing was like yesterday we were kind of like expecting more buys as well. If we could break above this high, this was by 50.62. But price couldn't get through this level. It couldn't get through that level. As you can see, there were no confirmations, so rather it started rolling off here at about a, what time was this actually? This is New York. This is by the New York time. Oh, all right, I see. Because I took a sell. I was like, did I trade New York yesterday? I don't remember trading New York yesterday. Oh, okay, because like when I took my trade here, I left the chart. I assumed this thing just continued to move down. So I was like, okay, so we moved down over here. This actually continued to move down during the New York time. So it looks like it did have that retracement up. So that's where I believe I was looking for. The sell was literally like right here. Break of these lows, and then it dumped like 326 pips. It looks like price had pulled back upwards, consolidated a bit more, After that accumulation, volume started coming in. Timing is essential in a situation like this, I suppose, because now you see that price consolidated, just waiting for the New York session to open so it can break the lows and then properly mop up that range on the 30-minute time frame over there. All right, yeah, that's what happened. Clean traffic down towards a 49.20. 49.20 over there. Yeah, so it's a pretty good sell-off that was. We got a nice buy this morning. Very easy buy to hold, wasn't too difficult. Just like the same way as in this trade here, pushed up like 60 pips. I'm sure this was not going to be difficult to hold. It was just a 1 minute candle that pushed up like 60 pips right over here. So loads of volume. You can see that really swift correction that came in as well. Right after that, because obviously the market doesn't want to pay you too much. It's gonna pay you, but yeah, sometimes I don't know. You can get away with it the more you take your shots and you just keep holding. But ideally the market doesn't want to do that. It will rather like reverse quickly and try and take you out. Unless there's a lot of orders in, there's a lot of pressure, then it keeps moving. But yeah, really good stuff over here. I mean, we're still seeing loads of volume on gold. It's slowly dying out. As you can see, before we're super used to seeing like gold 3% up, and slowly 3-5% by this time, but it's slowly reducing. Like we've been seeing on the previous 2 days, daily volume has been gradually coming down 2%. Now we're at 0.82%. So you can really see how the volume is dying out here overall. Macro fundamentally, I don't think we got anything to look out for. We're just kind of waiting, I suppose. There's some nuclear talks apparently supposed to be happening on Friday. I don't think NFP will be happening though, because NFP, because of the government shutdown, is probably getting postponed. I didn't see it on the calendar yesterday. Let's see if we got it back up today. Friday, no. It looks like the NFP is going to be postponed. We look like we got ADP numbers here. Numbers came in bad at 8:15, but gold still moved down quite aggressively. Today we have official bank rate. Looks like they're keeping it the same. JOLTS job openings, unemployment claims. Yeah, I got a couple of red folders over here. If you're into that sort of thing, then you got unemployment claims to look out for. You got official bank rate, which is most likely not going to do much because it's keeping it the same. Unemployment claims, I guess, is the main one, and JOLTS job openings. And Trump is speaking today at 7 p.m. So much later on during the day. I don't think that's really going to concern us much, or anybody who here is planning on getting involved in the market. He's going to be speaking at around like 7:30, it seems. Yeah, it says 7 p.m. here, but on his calendar, it's 7:30. Oh, wait, no, sorry. This is 7 p.m. This is 7 a.m. Okay, here. The president makes an announcement. South Court Auditorium. Yeah, so that's going to be Trump speaking later. Besides from that... Oh, yeah, gold is starting to get that volume. It's trying to break out here now. Got a 5 minute here looking quite extended. Got about 2 minutes 50 seconds for it to close. This is where it's trying to stretch too. Seeing some kind of a bullish momentum. Look at this 1 minute candle. I mean, this 5 minute candle. 5 minute candle here is already pushed up like 180 pips. It's trying to break above 40.94. 49.40. 49.40. Yeah, it's 49.40-ish. 49.40-ish. Let's see. What's going on here with Apex? You need to stop using your strategy on Apex, getting me banned. Too good for them. I want to take the same exact spot, but once I press buy, I notice the issue with my accounts. Apex is trying to pass. Let's see. Anyway, gold likely range bound in near term before possibly reaching new highs. Yeah, new highs. Gold is likely to stay range bound in the near term. The final leg of gold's recent rally unfolded very rapidly and bore the characteristics of a short squeeze, pushing prices higher in compressed time frame. That's that range. Like on the daily, you can see the range that gold is playing. I think it's 5 minutes trying to close. This 5 minutes trying to close above resistance here. So the next 5 minute can move up. It needs to break away from this. You know what I mean? So it's like when you're taking a shit, right? You take a shit, you gotta break away from the first shit so the next shit can move properly. That's what price is doing. That's why this 5 minute candle closes. They're really important. You know, because if it's overstretched, then it's not the ideal situation. It's not the ideal situation. So we got candlesticks breaking away here. We got the 15-minute candlestick close above that resistance. Really nice clean range, I guess, on the hourly time frame too. This hourly candlestick itself has most probably had a single move in it. A single distribution, as it's pushed quite nicely already. About 273 pips. But it could definitely keep moving more than that for sure. Filling this range probably gonna happen. It could happen on this hourly, but yeah, I gotta wait and see. Loads of volume though in the market, as you can see right here. These previous buddies over here, we just kind of like taking the range high. I mean the candlestick high and low, and then measuring like how much candles are actually pushing on the hourly. So yeah, this hourly does actually have a potential. It keeps moving up over here to keep going up towards that buy side target over there. It's definitely setting up. Our price action is at a point A right now. The question is whether it can actually start moving here, or whether it needs to create a support of sort to keep pushing up later. But it's currently in the motion to keep moving up. Like it's starting to break away from this section. So it's just a matter of like, what's the probability that it can move up now as opposed to it moving up later. Try again later. Technically, it can still keep moving up. Not the best conditions. The best condition would be like if this hourly candle was a bit smaller, that would be nice. Since it had to already overextend to even break the highs. Resistance. So that would shift that there. See, try to break above the high here by 49.36. 39.46. Next candle opened up, even rebroke the highs, but just it couldn't make it. Sometimes it could be just waiting for the next hourly candlestick to open up. Beautiful range this was. Holy. New York session push. So this is a current PA. Yeah, a little tricky. It's a much bigger zone that is starting to break. It's a really big accumulation area here. I think the smaller one would actually do a lot better than the bigger one. Because the bigger one is still coinciding with higher time frames, which sometimes we're going to need to pull back. Like it could even be waiting for the hourly closure in about 38 minutes. So this hourly can create a support and the next hourly can start moving up. Here, like a bottom wick, and then start pushing up like this towards that buy side target. Still no like real setup, I guess. It just kind of broke these highs. I think if there's going to be buyers in the market, they're just having a much bigger stop loss, expecting price to continue moving up. There's any sort of positions where you got some players in with like really big stop losses back within the range, anticipating price to continue to move up like this. It's not a refined approach, because you see you have to wait for price to pull back, give structure, and then potentially move in your direction. Whereas like when we're looking for that refined approach, we're looking to see when is that market gonna actually start to really push. Correct? So it probably needs to set something up here first and then confirm with the break of the highs. Because as of right now, it's just doing like some, just some pullbacks. There's a pullback right here. It's still flirting with the idea to whether to move up or to move down. So best case scenario is like if maybe price comes bearish, like this creates like some kind of a support such as that, and then continue to move up. And then you got your support level there, and price starts to break above resistance by 49.43, and that will prop it up quite nicely. But it definitely needs to set up. You can see it's not structurally strong here on the 1 minute time frame. Triggers at play for gold prices to fall further. AFG International reckons that there are factors at play that could lead to further correction in gold prices. The sharp volatility after gold briefly touched $5,600 an ounce, troy ounce in Europe. All right, let's see. Growing risk of a correction. Any easing of tensions involving Iran, though a remote prospect at the moment, could prompt investors to reconsider their exposure to gold. The appointment of a new Fed chair who appears to be independent of Trump, incredible inflation, could also boost confidence in the US dollar denomination. So why did Trump pick the most hawkish guy in the Federal Reserve, I'm kind of wondering why him? Why him? If he really wanted to have those rate cuts, why not pick the most dovish guy, correct? Why don't pick the most dovish guy to be the next Fed? They've both been to Epstein's island, so guess they're buddies over there. They're gonna work some things out together. Gold and silver. I'm surprised that's not they're not really talking about that here on TradingView either. I guess that doesn't have much interest to the market. But yeah, I think if you carry like a support here, re-break the highs, probably gonna look a lot more appetizing for price to move up bullish. Y'all ever seen this video? I saw this video today. I thought it was AI for a second. But this is Biden over here. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, you see, it couldn't get that follow through. I think the video speaks for itself. We don't need to describe the contents of this video over here. Thought it was AI for a second, but yeah, it looks like it wasn't. Look at this shit. Even this woman right here is like, hey, hold up now, hold up now. Getting too excited there, Sleepy Joe. Calm down, buddy. There's cameras. Yeah, man, just couldn't help himself, huh? It says, I like kids more than... He said what? I like kids more than people. Come on, man. Like, that's weird. And like, petting them like... Wild. Like, bro, when was this? This is like 5 years ago. Joe Biden. All right, looks like price back in the range. So this is the thing. It didn't look like, even to me, didn't feel like it was gonna. It could in principle keep moving up towards that buy side target, but something about the volume feels a bit not as strong, not as what do you call it? It's not very directional at the moment. As you can see, this is a massive range that it's been playing in between as well. We got a support, we got resistance, like 400, almost 500 pip range. So coming back into the range, still no setup, still no confirmation. It's got like some candle try and break out. It tried a little prison break over here, but I think Michael Scorefield got a caught on that breakout. So they kind of had to like put him back inside the prison, you know. So they put him back here inside the gulag. So it's gonna have to like try and attempt this breakout again later. It's a pretty big breakout. You know, it's a pretty obvious one as well. You know, all the alarms and bells and whistles are going off. It's pretty obvious. Because price accumulated heavy over there. And remember, like, all this right before a level starts accumulating quite heavy like this. It's thinking of breaking that level. So that's exactly what was happening. It's thinking of like breaking above this high. And it attempted to, but yeah, I guess this is just like, you know, the best way to think about a situation where it like breaks and then pulls back, it's just in terms of a probability. Like, what's the probability that it would have broken this attempt to go up bullish? Then look at those variables that are kind of affecting that probability for it to move up. Maybe like, for example, hourly candlestick has already been overextended. Maybe you have even a gut feeling that there's some kind of a lowness in volume. Could play a role as well, but hourly is overextended. I would say like that's it. The hourly is like really big, but it could in principle keep moving up. But I feel like it's more of like a gut feeling, right? Sometimes I think like trading has also to do with like a feeling thing based off how the candlesticks are behaving, how the ticks are, you know, how it's moving. I suppose that's where people like to use or start using things like order flow and stuff like that to try and make sense of it. But I think auto flow and stuff like that also kind of creates some unnecessary noise overall, more than it will help you to really filter out those specific scenarios. You know what I mean? So you got to use like a confluence, but I think it creates a lot more noise, unneeded noise, just so you can get some kind of a confirmation like this to show you that there's not enough orders to keep moving up bullish. Because it's not perfect, and it'll always tell you something of the sort, like even in scenarios most of the time that you don't need those types of signals, or you don't need that type of you know, if you're going to use like an indicator which is giving you too much noise, sometimes that will affect your confidence and execution. So there's always going to be something in the way of you executing. Sometimes you just need to take the trade. You just need to take the trade and let it play out, and not overthink and wait for the perfect moment. These videos are terrifying. Felt impossible to trust all of pre-London. I could not find a trade, yet there's movement. Yeah, so far there's no trade even I see on the... it's nothing that I would have taken. Like, even this breakout here, I wouldn't have taken this breakout because... First of all, it's still going against a daily bias, which is still bearish, and it's a much bigger breakout. Like, you're coming towards the tail end of like a 500 pip range high. You know what I mean? You'd rather like see price break out first and then confirm like some structure and then continue to move up bullish. Right? But you know, when you're paper trading and you're just watching price action, then you're gonna look at it slightly a bit differently and just to kind of see if it can play out in a certain way. But yeah, that's a, like, you know, we got like one fakie above here, we got a fakie below here, and it's just still holding. So ideal situation would have been like if we held right here by the highs and then pushed up, right? Push up, create like a support when price came down like this, and then attempted to re-break those highs, to take those highs out and then keep moving up in that direction. That would have been the best structurally strong play. But as of right now, since the London Open, the only buy that I saw which actually kind of like played out over here was this one. Candlestick broke above this high and then it kind of like filled up a bit of the range, 60 pips. Quickly mopped up, as you can see. That's why price came down such as this. Very intentional, you know, price is very intentional. It's definitely not random. It's all very, very intentional. So as you can see, came down, took out the lows right over here, took out some orders, and then look at this, lo and behold, bomber clot. And then all of a sudden starts to move up again. So you always get your first round, so I call like the first round of players in the market. Then again, sometimes a retest and goes up, but this is a variable again of where price will come to mop up the whole area, that it can continue to go up bullish. So yeah, it's quite interesting actually. You look at it from that perspective. It's like, why come down to take this low out? Quite interesting. And you're kind of making a little bit of sense of the tape reading. Once you start like spotting little intricate details like that, you start really understanding psychology of markets. But this shouldn't be like something now you're always going to be fearful, because now people think your stop loss is my entry type of thing, right? That's what people would reckon to do. But that's not what that means. You know, some people say, oh, you know, you're going to put your entries where the masses put their stop losses, right? You probably heard that before. It's not necessarily the case that you have to do that. It's just a variable, just like any other thing. Like if you're looking to also put your entry where the masses put their stop losses, I guess, wherever those masses are, then you also miss moves. You know, you got to keep in mind that you're also gonna miss a lot of moves. Sometimes you're gonna miss a lot of moves, especially with like gold. How gold has been behaving of late, it's just been flying directionally. Like when gold moves, it moves. So if you're waiting for those types of entries, then sometimes you kind of miss out. But yeah, right now it's still definitely setting up something. We can't really draw much analysis on this at this very moment. Yeah, there's not much analysis to do here. There's not much analysis to do here. Just kind of like watch. I guess that's why I was kind of watching this guy yesterday. Quite an interesting fellow over here. We kind of have a similar outlook on markets, which is interesting. We got a similar way of looking at markets. He's also a scalper. So I was like, okay, you know, let me check this guy out properly. I was like, yeah, he also doesn't have much analysis on the chart, which is also resonating with me as a lower time frame trader. Because you can't really like always put analysis, right? You just have to read the price action, because you're trading a lower time frame. You either kind of like know what you're doing or you don't. But I see that's why he has his, what is it? Is it an older channel? Posted 2 weeks ago. That's why he's got this software. He's a developer, right? He developed this program. what is it called? This thing that shows you volume. Where's a nice video? I think he did a nice video with Riz. Yeah, this one right here. He did a nice video with Riz. So you see, there's not much analysis. So he's kind of reading, in a sense, a price action and then using these circles here and doing his thing to see where the volume is coming in is quite interesting. So this is his platform. This is his platform right here. This is his platform. His trader and developer of this thing. But what I didn't get, like I was watching this thing, but you know, like candles are supposed to close at a certain time period. I didn't understand in this video, why are there some candles which are closing sooner than other candles? Like you see like this candle right over here. Wait, let me see. Is there a cut in the video? No, there's no cut in the video. Like why are some candles, like you see this candle just opened up. It just opened up and it's closed already in like 2 seconds. Then we had the next candle open. And why is that candle still open for longer than 2 seconds? And then this candle and some candles stay on like a little bit longer. Am I missing something? Like what time frame is this? Like you see, these are the candles that these other candles are closing a lot later. And then some of them, like this one, just opened. Wait, the thing is, this one just opened. You see, it just opened and it's already closed, and it like pushed down so heavily. So what is it? Like a seconds chart? It says 40 range, 10 dBT. What's going on here? Anyone can kind of explain this to me? I didn't know like candles can close sooner and others later in the same time frame. But I think it's trading also NASDAQ, so this is NQ. There's a small detail there. That's all. Maybe it was a glitch. I don't know. But yeah, pretty interesting. Backtesting, but he's doing it live. That's the thing. This is a live. But this is what I was thinking. This guy developed this platform and he's doing it live with Riz. But he's a developer of this platform. Meaning he's kind of like, he knows the ins and out of the platform. You know, like he could set it up in a way that looks live, but it's not really live because mind you that he's a developer of this platform. Developers can do anything that they want. He could have timed this as well somehow with this interview. It's just things I kind of like dig into, and like little details like this as well, like candlesticks closing sooner than other candlesticks. Also doesn't make sense to me. If it's like a 1 minute, it needs to take 1 minute to close. Because you know, as a scalper as well, we pay like really close attention to like all of these details, like very small details like this. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting way of trading. You see, there's not much analysis on the chart. You kind of either know what you're doing. He's using like some kind of a point of control, basically to catch this trade. There was a point of control right over here. So for me, what I'm seeing this as, basically it's an accumulation distribution. It's right here, as you can see, TFX concepts. So this is actually quite interesting accumulation. I'm not sure what the time frame this is. If someone can let me know. It says 40 range. Let me read the chat. I'm not sure what time frame it is. Maybe it's like a 5 second, 10 second chart. Like maybe possibly. I think it's a 10-second chart. But yeah. We got like a 10-second small little accumulation breakout here. But I think his stop loss is going to be really tight. So this is NQ. This is NQ, meaning the stop would be probably down over here anyway. Right? Because it's a 10-second chart. So there's like a small little breakout situation that happened right here. It broke out. You can see that initial volume inflow come in. Then it came back down to kind of retest and then to continue moving up. There's a clean range here. I think that on the 1 minute will look like a clean traffic. to move up. It looks like a really big move because I think this is on a seconds chart. But it's not as big as it looks, you know. There's probably like a really nice 5-minute range over here that's currently getting filled up on the left hand side. There's also a small little gap. Yeah, but pretty nice, pretty good stuff. This is the thing with scalpers. People assume that scalpers make little money, but it's not the case, man. Like, scalpers get the best entries and they get the best bang for their buck, because if you got like a tighter stop loss and then price all of a sudden spikes in your direction, then you get more profit. You get more profit, you know. Like, that's not the case for traders with bigger stop losses. Even if they get a big spike, right? Like, how big is their stop anyway? It's just like a quicker, maybe 1-to-1, 1-to-2. But scalpers, by definition, they say scalpers, you know, they can only make small money, but I think they're just being a bit short-sighted about it. I think in this trade it was about like probably like a 1-to-3, 1-to-5. Really nice volume coming in. Look at these seconds charts, are quite volatile here, especially. Yeah, this is an NQ. But seconds charts are quite volatile, so gotta be careful with that. You always gotta have like enough breathing room. But you know, in this example here, he didn't really give his trade a lot of breathing room, which is also the interesting part. As you can see how fast he actually almost got stopped out because he was moving the stop loss too much in the beginning. And it's a seconds chart. Anybody got this thing? This software here? You don't need 100 pips if you put a lot of weight in the position. Fabio Valentini. Let's see. Can we get on the seconds chart? I don't think we can. We need a trading view. Yeah, I guess we need the premium. Can't even go on 45 seconds. All we got to do is look at the minute time frame. I feel like the minute is quite nice because it definitely keeps you out of the market long enough. So that you can get a much stronger confirmation as far as scalping goes. Victor, you know Kenyan Prince? Yeah, I know that guy. He's just an influencer. That's all that he does. He's not a real trader. I actually think that guy is doing something else. He's probably like in carding or something, you know. He does carding, or he's definitely making a lot more money doing something of that, but he's definitely not a trader. A lot of influencers just say they're traders because they can sell something, you know. So you're gonna see a lot of these guys even before they're already famous, and then all of a sudden they've been traders. Oh guys, I didn't tell you I was actually making money this whole time trading. I've seen a guy do that before. I was like, man, this is so cringe, bro. Like, you're a car guy. You had a channel for cars your whole career, and then all of a sudden you've been a trader. Insane. Insane. You know, like, trading's a craft. You should like put some respect on it. It takes time. It takes a lot of dedication. It's not something that happens overnight, for sure. But anyway, let's see over here. We got on the 5 minute. Let's see, 1 minute. Get back to the chart work. Let's see. Small little fake out, potential fake out situation happening here. But there's not enough structure for this move. So it would be nice if we create like some kind of a range high, and then that becomes a liquidity. Let's say a draw on liquidity. Potential draw on liquidity below here. That could be a potential scenario. But ideally you want to see price first move up. You know, if it can move up and then create a resistance, that would be really nice. Right over here. That'll be really good. Set something interesting up and then have a directional confirmation. But you see, as of right now, it's still kind of respecting this zone. We're just anticipating it could possibly rip up before it happens. Oh, maybe it's gonna come down to retest the range. Because if we're just ranging as well, because we just hit the highs of the range right above here, could potentially come back through retest the lows down here too. Come and retest these lows. Gotta wait. Price needs to print. You know, there's really nothing here at this point. It's just like a lot of speculation. It's just price needs to move. It needs to print, create some nice opportunities, and then see what's gonna happen over there. And there's like small distribution towards the downside. It's almost like a mini head and shoulders. If you look at it, like it's a mini head and shoulders break of the highs right over here. Not the cleanest structure though. But maybe like put the line graph on, you can see a bit better. The left shoulder, the head, right shoulder, the volume coming at the break of the lows. Nice little SMA, 8 SMA confluence in there too. I saw his yesterday's deposit 200k, then pushed it to 729. Yeah, I saw it one time that he made £1 million as well. He made £1 million in one trade. $5K a day, no trading view premium. No trading view premium, sir. I'm like Roger Banks. Roger Banks has never activated his windows. That guy's been a millionaire for like quite a long time now, and he still has never activated his windows. It's always been that banner on the bottom right hand side. There's just some things that we just wouldn't pay for, you know. Like for me, there's YouTube. I would never pay for YouTube freaking premium just so I could not have ads. That's one thing. And YouTube gets super aggressive with the ads nowadays. Like I feel like the ads are insane sometimes. Like there's more ad than video sometimes, but I never give in to it. I'm never gonna pay for YouTube Premium. And also TradingView. TradingView, at least you get the essential plan. Before, we never used to pay for TradingView. There's this way that we could avoid the ads. If you get like an ad blocker, you could avoid ads on the browser, but you couldn't do that anymore at some point. And that's when I was like, okay, fine, let me just pay for this thing, because the ads on TradingView are quite annoying. And also you get slower data as well. If you on the free plan, I think the data is slightly slower. So you get like a break. You got a break, but then you don't see a break quick enough. I use Brave on YouTube. It doesn't have ads. And it's like when you're watching on the TV. On the TV, I don't have like an ad blocker. Using the YouTube app. Yeah, this thing is still in distribution. Right here, it's still heading towards the downside off of this little bit of structure that we had. I reckon we are gonna play this range today, this 500 pip range, up until potentially that New York session time. It was gonna make it more interesting. I guess it would have been more interesting if price could have actually broken and then continued moving upwards. Then we can say, okay, you know, price is quite directional, getting a bit directional, but you see, it's still a counter trend move. Even for a candle to close above here, it's still a counter trend move that it needs to push up. So there's still a lot of heavy lifting for the daily, in essence, to keep pulling up like this. Correct? So that's also why sometimes it also pays, like if you pay attention to your trades and the hourly time frame. I've always found like the best trades and the highest bomber clot type of trades are always the one where the hourly candle is in your direction and confluence. So if you're like looking for a buy, for example, the hourly is bullish, that's a really good sign. Especially if it's a fresh hourly candlestick. You know, if it just like opened up and it's still quite fresh before the move happens. Also really nice. It's a similar thing like the trade that I took this morning. Is you can see the hourly candle had just opened. It was only about like 8 minutes into that hourly. Also, yesterday's pre-NY trade was about 10 minutes into the hourly. And then the London trade was about 37 minutes into the hourly. This was 637 on the loss. This was about 255 on the loss. You can see this was a really nice W here of 9.16%. It was about 11 minutes into the hour. So you see my two bomber clot trades this month, the 9 and 10% trades, they've been happening within a time span of like 11 minutes into the hourly candle over there. You see this nice little 4%, 4.25% trade is about 6 minutes into the hourly candlestick. So that's when it's like still fresh, because now you get that HTF, higher time frame volume, as an additional confluence for your trade. On top one trader, I have to keep stops bigger than I want to use, not to break a rule. Oh, this was yesterday's trade. Secured 55 pips on second trade. Thanks to TFX. Nice one. It says entry, 1 minute break of structure. CTP about like 55 pips. Break of highs, fake out below there. It definitely could look a lot cleaner. Oh, wait. Actually, I think the breakout was... the main breakout was actually above here. From here to here. That would have been the main breakout here, which would still have netted quite a nice push to the upside. You got in quite early, but very nice, you know, very nice. It was heading towards that breakout anyway, I suppose. It was heading towards breaking these highs so it can give that decent type of push, which is also a pretty big push already, that is. It's got a nice buy position. Yeah, KevJab pretty much took the same trade as me this morning. It's a very nice move. Price to continue moving upwards. We also had that range to get filled on the left hand side. So you see this is his before picture, which is quite funny. Let's see, download this. Man's locked in somehow. Man has locked in. Heat seeking missile. All right, let's see. Analysis, trades taken. Look at this. Look at this resemblance over here. That was by 4906 57. There's 4906 49, 4904 84, 4904 57. Nice. Yeah, that was that bomber clot. Real good bomber clot this morning. God. Look at that beautiful lineup. Money in the bank. Secure 40 pips. Also had the opportunity to fill the clear candle. Let's see, entry, 1 minute break of structure. I sell about 20 points. Price to move up, fill that range. Little fake out confirmation. All this trading with the daily bias over here, because now it's quite strange. The daily is down, but the intraday time frames are moving up bullish. But a nice little breakout over here, I suppose. It's a very strong fake out. Kind of risky. I would say the structure is not very well. Wait, let me get this. The structure is not as clean as it could be. It's on the 1 minute time frame. At least you got the fake out confluence. I'll probably be coming in. If I was looking for the buyer, I'll probably be coming in like right here, waiting for the break of the high and then keep pushing. Yeah, but still W trade, you know, a win is a win. A win is a win. All right, what's this? We got some crypto positions. Ethereum US dollar. Made about what, 9,200. Paying a little swap fees. Let's see. After 500 plus scaling in position, finally closed 96% of my positions. BTC is on its way down. Probably gonna make some good money on Bitcoin shorts. Yeah, Bitcoin has a much higher time frame range to fill up. Very nice clean PA over here. Break of the lows, break of structure to confirm momentum to the downside. Very nice. That's a cheeky little sell over here. Not sure where you got it. Probably like some kind of a weird FEG or something. A resistance. Okay, but I like these trades like where you gotta like break the lows, and then for price to keep moving in that direction. Very nice sniper entry on that secondary one. But yeah, these are pretty good over here. Break the lows, continue to push down bearish. You're always gonna get more confirmation for sure if it starts going in your direction before you take the trade. Let's see, Bitcoin. Where is crypto sitting at right now? Okay, it looks like crypto's cracked about 80k. So yeah, crypto should be tumbling quite nicely as expected. You see, beautiful little TFX concept over here on the monthly time frame. We've just been kind of waiting for this thing to play out. It's coming down towards 60k, so it's already in that shotgun momentum, heading down towards that support area, looking to fill up this range, at least down to 65% of the range at 65k. This is quite interesting as well. They got 65k at 65% of the range. So that's kind of where like crypto is heading as it's coming down towards that support over there to mop up the whole area. And I think it is going to most likely hit that support. So that's the fate of cryptocurrencies. And then once we break below this next support over here, once we break below that 60k mark, it's going to be true curtains for crypto, for Bitcoin, I mean. True curtains for Bitcoin, for price to continue just completely tumbling all the way down. Imagine from 100k, imagine seeing crypto at 25k by the end of the year potentially. You know, giving back a ton of gains. That's very close to where the last crash was. From last time when we tested like 65k and then came down to 15k. It's quite close, but you see that's the only barrier that's left for Bitcoin. Once it gets through this, it's curtains. The same way it happened here. We said once it gets through 80k, it's curtains. It's going down to 60. Right, it's coming down to 60 as we're speaking over here. And with the dollar index is what's kind of recovering a little bit here. Having now Kevin Walsh put in. Kevin Walsh, I guess that guy has actually given some slight exuberance here on the dollar index, as you can see, because it's quite a hawkish Fed member. So we're gonna see price on DXY potentially try and move up bullish over here. See, it respected 96. It was almost game over for this instrument. Almost game over. But Kevin Walsh came in like Superman and still kind of holding it. But you see that the rate decisions are still holding as primarily dovish this year. So we would still be expecting like some kind of 25 BPS rate cut by June, July. So it could be just be like some relief for the moment. You know, you get some fundamentals in, a little bit of relief, and then continue onwards later on in the year. That's what it is. And also that relief has caused has added on to the correction aspect of gold spot, because gold spot was going to correct anyway, but now you can see we're starting to break inside some kind of rangy-ish price action, but still with a ton of volume. I mean, the daily is still down 1.22%. So we still got a ton of volume on gold. But if you pay attention to this, if this is an instrument that you've been locked into trading for quite some time, I think you also get a feeling that something is kind of changing slightly in terms of whether the PA is starting to behave on a daily basis. But we're definitely starting to have a bit more maybe let's call rangy. Getting a little bit more rangy, but with loads of volume. This range is 500 pips. So it's still pretty decent market conditions. Maybe we could like milk February. I believe we can milk February, and then by March we probably see it actually start to reduce by a lot more by March. You're gonna see the volume. If we don't get any fundamental work come in, By March, our volume should be dying out. So we're just collecting the paycheck right now, as there's a lot of volume, right? As there is a lot of volume, we collect the paycheck, then it dies out. Kaput. That's kind of like how YouTube is. Whenever I get like a video on YouTube go viral, I get to collect the paycheck for like maybe even 3 months. 3 months, 4 months. And then it dies out. Then it's like, okay, sir, we are done here. It's like, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Like right now, my channel has kind of, it's happening to a lot of channels as well. I don't know why YouTube does this. Every year it does this bullshit where it just kind of like slows the growth of a channel for no reason, right? So it happened at the beginning of the year. I don't know why YouTube does this. It's quite annoying. And they started doing this algorithm shit since last year's September. So I had to like pull down a lot of my videos because they changed the algorithm, and a bunch of us had like a bunch of these warnings, and it happened that we had to remove some videos. Oh, what can you do? Nothing. That's why you gotta have a skill that pays you, right? So even when COVID hit, you got a skill that pays you. Sit at home, you make your money. I think you're gonna be all right. So, but in terms of the community and growing the community, it's kind of a bummer because it's not as fun when the numbers are not going up as fast, and it's all just due to algorithm. I thought it was crazy, but yeah, I don't think so. So we got this guy called vidIQ. So he's basically the godfather of everything YouTube analytics, right? vidIQ. About like 2.3 million subscribers. He released a video like 3 weeks ago. Did YouTube change the algorithm and shadow ban accounts? I was like, damn, yeah, man. Kind of like feeling this over here. Look at this shit. Like they just cut it. They just I don't know what they do on YouTube. I don't know why they do this. Like they just end up cutting engagement. And also the home screen changed. I didn't even know about that. There's only like 3 videos that you're gonna see on your home screen. Got that data. Man, data is super, super important over here. Damn, Goldie. Where are we heading to? Negative 1.60%. Damn, Daniel. Breaking the range lows. Was still going with the daily volume there. Let's get it, Feb. Yes, sir. Could you please review my trades posted and trades taken pre-NY? Same trade you took, but I lost 10 pips. I think we reviewed it. Oh, 10 pips this one. Yeah, it could have been a broker situation because if you said you put your stop loss at break even and you still lost 10 pips, that means the spread was pretty big. Well, what's the spread on this broker like? Is it 10 pips? That's crazy. Yeah, make sure you put on the ask and bid lines so you can always see the spread. So put that setting on. So, you know, sometimes you're never going to know if you have that off. Sometimes you have a low spread and you don't know. You take a position, you're like, damn, what the hell is this? So make sure you put your ask and bid on. Complete mirror, 15-minute PA called 49.27. Yeah, it seems like it was a break rather to break the downside to continue with that daily bearish trend. It's similar thing that we would actually see on a lower time frame. Like essentially what would be happening would be like a similar model, like what happened here is happening on a much bigger scale right over here. So you can see this is the fake out actually. You got the fake out right here, same as you would have a fake out happen right over here, and then for price to kind of like pull those orders in and then sell it off towards the opposite direction. So it's the same thing that happened here, break above the highs, get the fake out in, and then pull the orders in towards the opposite direction like this, like that. So that's a sell-off right there. Well, where's it heading to is a question. Let's go on the 30-minute. 30-minute, we got like a range all the way down towards this section. That's by 48.62. So you got a support. You got a fake shotgun entry that actually came in here. A little nice little accumulation that came in here. Boom, boom, boom. Break of the lows. Clean traffic about like 373 pips. Nice little shotgun on the 30-minute time frame with a 8 SMA confluence right over there as well. You got the massive fake outs. You can kind of see the fake out a bit better here on the 30. You see it's a much bigger range, so that's why you're looking at a higher time frame. So the higher time frame is much quicker to digest than on the LTF, because now the LTF will have a lot more data in it. All right, but now your 30-minute, you can see better that liquidity grab, that fake out that happened above this section. And then I pulled into the shotgun entry confirmation to finish mopping up over there. So that's currently what's playing out. See on the 5-minute, there's nothing on the 5-minute over here. There's actually no 5-minute clean range. So you got a support here, and you got another support right over here. So that's currently what is mopping up. About like 320 more pips down towards 48.40 over there. I think the only way you could get back into this trade is if there is a structure that builds right here, but you see right now it's still in distribution. So this is what we call chasing. This is where a lot of people are gonna like start chasing the market because they feel like they've kind of missed out on a potential sell. So you start chasing the market, chase, but it's much better just wait for the structure to first form. Right over here again. A little bit of structure, something interesting. Ever since we sold off, the only bit of structure we had that was interesting was actually right over here. Right over here. This was kind of like swings, very hard to catch, and it's still like just pushing down heavily. So that was the only bit of structure that was actually even appetizing to get involved in if you're looking to get into these shorts. Either that or the break of the range, the higher time frame range down over here by 48.95. When it started breaking there. I'm gonna like remove this analysis now. You just say current price is in distribution from this overall area. Range high, let's remove that. Yeah, it's in distribution heading down towards here. Pretty big distribution. Ooh, Lee.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
You're pondering if you should catch something back up from the 30-minute bottom? Yeah, this is This is a falling knife, so definitely be patient if you're planning on a buy. Definitely be patient. We just got like a candle close below 40, 44, 48, 4888, 4888. Support over there. Price and distribution. Oh, selling pressure. Let me tell you that. That's why the stream here today is we got the big red button over here. Big red button, expecting some sell-offs. If this thing would just load. Dang, it's so low. Load. Gotta push the red button. Red button, and price are gonna come down. The nuclear button. You see that the buyers were losing confidence in the previous 2 days of the intraday time frames. So we schedule usually our streams, like tomorrow's stream, for example, we're gonna schedule it today. Also kind of depending on what we expect market to do. So for Freaky Friday, because Freaky Friday here is the weekly candlestick closure, you can see with this weekly candlestick, there's not a lot of there's a lot of indecision, right? It hasn't really moved anywhere, this weekly candle. You can also sense on the intraday time frames a similar thing going on. We have such a nice range to fill on the daily, but as we're progressing and filling that range, we're getting like hints of how we're gonna expect to fill that range. So right now we're expecting a lot more pullbacks before filling the range on the daily time frame, potentially even waiting for some news to break out. So we have these nuclear peace talks that are supposed to be happening on Friday. So we're gonna see what the outcome of that's gonna be. It could be a driving factor or catalyst into next week's Monday open price action, depending on what has been agreed or what kind of like tensions increase over the weekend. As of late, the whole of freaking January was the same thing. Like literally, like every weekend would have some kind of a news breakout, and the weekly candles, the whole of January, you just open and skyrocket. Throughout the Asia session, they'll open and fly, right? Open and fly. With February, you can see with February, it's slightly a bit different. It's like we're kind of just waiting to see what the next steps, what the next moves are gonna be. So I think if you're in tune with the market and you understand this of what I am saying, then I think that's very good. If you don't understand what I'm saying, then I think either you're just gonna have a different perspective, opinion than me, or you just have like some kind of experience to build. Either one of those two things. But you gotta be honest with yourself which one of those two things it is. Because if you want to be in trading for like 6 months, you can't know it all. 6 months. Let's see, 1 minute time frame. Yeah, it's still coming down. Still no structure. Beautiful sell-offs. I actually wanted to catch a sell this morning, but the PA was bullish. The PA was bullish, but I was slightly leaning more towards the sells, especially yesterday's trade. Yesterday's trade, I needed this one to be a sell. I even mentioned on stream the next trade I take is most likely going to be a sell because of how we were seeing like price behave. It would have been insane if I held this trade too. But yeah, it's quite a difficult trade to hold anyway. But this thing just completely melted. That's why I thought we actually mopped it up. But it seems like after this melt, price had actually come back up. And then played a bit more and then sold off properly during New York session. But yeah, very nice sell. And then a little accumulation break this morning over here. Price move up to fill that range on the left-hand side towards like 49.36. So that was pretty much the idea. They like break above these highs. Almost like a swing entry model as well. To continue to move towards that resistance. Well, a little liquidity grab as well that happened below here. Liquidity grab, break of the highs, boom, 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 fill up the range. I don't know if we even filled up the range. Let's see. Did we fill the range? Oh, nice. Yeah, we did fill the range. So that was the move from here. So you see, the idea from that trade was, let's remove this. See it from here to here. That was the plan. So yeah, price did eventually actually go up. It filled up the range beautifully, as you can see. Also, pretty strong area that's been holding even right now. You can see it held quite strong. It tried to break up again once, but it just couldn't. This level here, for whatever reason, because the daily is still bearish, there are a lot more selling PA in the market. Couldn't break above that zone. But yeah, you can see that reaction right over here. So range fill again, really nice. And now we're seeing another range fill as well towards the downside. See, as price is now coming closer and closer, inching closer towards the sell side targets right over here. This is price in distribution. We got maybe shotgun entry right there. So just like clockwork, you know, it's like nice little shotgun entry as well, lining up with this broader breakout situation that happened here. I wish I actually spoke about this yesterday as well. Whenever those two things lining up, really nice confirmations that is. So it is moving towards the downside right there. Sell side targets by 48.40. Pretty good start into February. Remember, we're just taking advantage as much as possible. So if you're a scalper, then you know what it is. You know what the case is here, because most scalpers are gonna have like tighter stops anyway. So you just find yourself in a nice position, and don't be shy. Don't shy away from holding your trade a bit longer. If you get into a nice setup, don't shy away from it. You should at least give yourself one attempt in a day if you're taking two trades. One attempt in a day to try and catch a bomber clock. Maybe like a 3%, 5% trade, you know. Don't shy away from it. Because we don't know how long this market condition is gonna last for like that. Maybe till the end of February, but milk it. Milk it as much as you can, my friend. This is my first time experiencing that type of condition as well. On average, we do pretty well for ourselves, but this is like making on steroids now. It's making it seem a lot more interesting. A lot more interesting. And if you're still not trading gold, stop it. Get some help. Still trading NQ. Let's see what NQ is doing over here. Shout out to my NQ traders. Got NQ in a potential break to the upside here. It's oh, NQ is also down 0.40%. Yeah, this is Fabio Valentino trade. This is the trade that he took on Words of Wisdom. This is the trade. So let's see, Fabio Valentino. So this was the trade, right? This was the trade. And then he had a... wait, how do you go back to NQ? Then he had the point of control. Damn, where's the history? I'm trying to bring out the video. Then he took a buy over here. That's what he did, right? He took a buy over here. Had some nice little tight stop losses. This is literally the same setup. I'm trying to bring it up here. It kind of looks similar, but obviously his on the seconds chart. But you see on NQ how price came down. So you had the push. Can you all see this properly? I think you can. Yeah, price came down, so that's the same downward movement right over here. Same downward movement right over here. His had like a little gap over here. Alright, his was the seconds chart, and then price came down, created like a bit of that choppiness down towards the lows. That little accumulation break that it made from on 10-second chart, I think it is. It's like a similar thing right over here. So you can just imagine that you got the point of control now down over here. Point of control now down over there. And then he had his targets, set his targets quite high up. Pretty high up target that was. It'd be funny if it actually played out. I would have loved to see what that was on a 1 minute though. Because that's a 10-second, that's like that was like a 10-second breakout. I guess that's the thing about the market. All this kind of like print same but different. We'll just leave that there and see what happens later. Yeah, this beautiful range here has been mopped up about 65%. As you can see, we got 65% of the range here has been mopped up right to the T. We're gonna have that reaction from. Market is tough right now. I would say stick with the sell side. The sell side seems to be, at least as of the London session, paying quite nice. And as of the previous 2 days. Remember yesterday when I was fighting hard for the short at start of the stream, same PA. So he took a buy at the break of the last 5-minute break. Let's see. Oh, okay. I gotta go back on here. Oh, nice. Look at that. Fabio Valentino. It's a Fabio Valentino entry. You see, me and Fabio were like the same 1 minute traders. We understand the value of a lower time frame. And now you see Fabio Valentino, he got his take profits over here hit. Same with TFX concepts. We should go one-on-one. One-on-one, Fabio Valentino, best scalper in the world, versus TFX concepts. Very nice. Very nice. We even look at the same. He like a black t-shirt and a black hat. We look at the same, we trade at the same. Got it? I was on that NAS trade. Let's see. Oh, nice. We got even a Ricardo over here. Ricardo. We got another Ricardo over here, another brother. 2 trades from NAS. The first one need to get away from the charts, close it. Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice. You see, it is going up just like he's. Maybe we have a same price action, where price just also goes like this. Very parabolic. This is like the best case scenario here for his trade. It was so parabolic. Like compared to all the other price action, what are the odds that, man, he came in at the right time to sit down with Riz and execute on that trade. That was such a beautiful trade. That's the only parabolic move that was like, because imagine you got to set up an interview, you got to set up a time, you got to get through, you know, the introductions, and then to set it all up properly, you got to get it right there. Right there, you see quick steps and you're already executing to catch that one parabolic move and move up beautifully like that. Is it a luck or is it a skill? Because we also kind of did the same thing over here. So which one is it? Is it a luck or skill? People think you took that trade. Is it a luck or skill? You know, the thing that made me even click on this video yesterday was the thumbnail. Because Ricardo told me about this guy. I didn't know about him. And Ricardo told me. Then I saw the thumbnail. Then I'm like, hey, isn't this a scalper guy? But he's doing like an accumulation. It's like he's doing a little accumulation thing over here. And I'm like, all right. Man's onto something for sure. But obviously he's considered one of the really top traders. So very good. And yeah, I'm thinking similar effect over here. The only thing is, you know, he's doing it on a 10-second chart. So I don't know how big this move is. This is probably that move. This is probably already that same move. Because if we go on a 10-second chart, man, this is going to look like pretty big. That's going to look pretty parabolic as well. Got a 10-second chart. So you see, he had his point of control down over here, but you know, it's just a matter of how you see the markets, because the markets don't really necessarily know if it's a point of control or if it's a accumulation breakout. It's just a matter of like what works the best for you. You know, like what can you execute on that will gonna make sense for you consistently, because the market doesn't know it. It wouldn't discriminate between a point of control, accumulation, or whatever the case is. Like if it's just a high probability area, the goal is like, how can you get in the same zones that these profitable traders are getting into, right? Doesn't mean you got to trade the same exact way they're trading, but you just got to have a seat at the table, right? Like, can you get your seat at the table is a question you got to be asking yourself, and consistently as well, with an approach that makes sense to you. You should choose a year to try the World Championship Forex. That's 1 year investment of your... Oh, 1 year investment of your time? And that's a lot, but it will push your channel so high and open new doors. 1 year investment. No, what will push my channel high is a Bugatti. It's much easier. Buy a Bugatti, buy a few sports cars, lifestyle videos. That's what the people really want. But yeah, I guess like this is also pretty cool over here. This is pretty cool. I thought about it as well, but it does require quite a lot of time. I mean, damn, look at that parabolic move. TFX Concepts. How much does he charge for his community? I'm sure he charges like $1,000 plus. We charge like pretty cheap compared to what we could be charging. There's a WW freaking episode. Oh, here's the accumulation break. This is why I saw in the thumbnail. So wait, did he take the trade? I didn't watch the full thing. I watched only the first part. Oh, nice accumulation break. Is he not gonna take it? What's he doing over here? Fabio, you already had a one trade. Don't push it. Don't push your luck. Yeah, no, I just had that one trade. So watch that interview, guys. Watch that interview. Watch the way that trade played out. Watch the way we just called it out live here as well, basically. And then try and break those barriers to what you think trading is. Whether you really need the circles on your chart or not. Sheesh, man. Is this NQ? NQ nasty like this.
Why are you running?
Damn. I didn't know NQ was nasty like this. Holy. Holy. Look at that. TP smashed. Damn, Daniel. That's like 81 pips, right? That would be like 81 pip on NQ. That's like, now it's this trade coming up here. This is basically the same move, chat. I told you. Basically the same move. You see price came down. Point of control. Maybe those one there. His entries were here. Those are TFX confirmation on the 10-second chart, which is just a breakout. I saw it on the 1-minute chart, which is also breakout right here. Look at that. Sniper exit too. Why did I close it? Yeah, is a plan? Very good. Like, nice little clean range. If we jump onto the 5-minute, there's gonna be a range over here. There's gonna be like a clean range right over here, which I assumed was a case for him as well. Because this is on the 10-second chart. Remember, this move could even have been bigger than this move. Correct? It just looks bigger on his because it's a seconds chart. This is probably a lot bigger than what he caught. Same also NQ. And this was traded at 24,923. Ours was at 24,923. What the hell is this? Man, if that's not the universe speaking, I don't know what is. How have I just showed you an example of this guy's trade on Words of Wisdom taken a month ago? Same entry model, but like, okay, TFX entry model. He has his entry model. The same trade, the same outcome, and at the same price. 24,923. This is 24,923. Right over here. Sheesh, man. I don't know. That's wild to me, chat. That is wild. That's some serious synchronicity going on here. That is some serious synchronicity going on here. I was trading. That's insane. Thank you, God. I know you're out there. I know you're out there looking up. You gotta put your faith in the Almighty. The Almighty will always send you a signal, but you have to be able to be listening to those signals, right? They're always gonna send you, universe always gonna send you these small things that show that, you know, you're in line of what you should be doing. And that's, you know, you always gotta pay attention to that. Whatever how small it is, just look for where it is. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That was pretty awesome. Manifestation, it's not a joke, chat. Like, y'all think like manifestation is just wishful thinking. It's not wishful thinking. Manifestation with action produce results. But you have to get your frequency on the right level, right? Because the universe, when you're super clear of what you want and you work towards that goal. I mean, even look at this exit as well. Beautiful exit too. Like, can't make this up. Like, how more in sync can this be, chat? Like, honestly, what's the chat saying? Like, come on, guys, that's insane. Even with the exit. That's wild to me, chat. That's wild. Can't make this up. Even with that 65% mark right over here, look at that. Look at that synchronicity. Did we make this up? This is what we use all the time to measure ranges. This is how we always measure them. We measure the range always from the wick to the support. Look at that. Right to the 65% mark. Everything in line. Universe is in line, conspiring in your favor. That's why I say when people bet against me, when people wish on my downfall, I want them to wish on my downfall because God got my back. You don't see it, but God's got my back. You know, like when you see that picture. This one picture I really like of a small, like a small kid, and then there's a huge lion behind him. That's God. So no matter what people want to conspire against you, no matter what negativity people throw your way, you gotta stay positive. You gotta stay on your own lane. Every day you wake up, you got two choices: think you're a winner or think you're a victim. You know, even when things are not going good for you in life, just always think of yourself as a winner. Can't find it. I'm in a sell. Quantum sync. What do you think about euro dollar? Euro dollar? No, we don't trade euro dollar.
We don't do that here.
I just put what you did in chat on Discord. Oh, Vic looking at other people trade. Sharingan. This is Sasuke. Sasuke. We got Pervy Sage. Who is this guy? I'm not sure who this guy is. I thought that was Gara for a second, but no, that's not him. This yeah, this is, oh damn, this is AI over here. Did you like do this with an AI right now? That's pretty cool. It looks like an AI. No, it's Google. Yeah, something similar like that. Something similar like that. God's got your back. All the time. Even when things are going not as great, and you think they're not going as great, it's just redirection, just a slight redirection. That's all that it is. So close. It's always like that. Always so close to getting what you want. You feel like you're right there, right at the doorstep, right? That's when you gotta hold. That's when you get held back the most. Like when you're right at the doorstep. That's where most people give up. Right at the doorstep. That's why it's that last test. You know, it's always gonna be that last test when you're right at the doorstep. It's gonna test you, see if you're truly worthy. Man, that's freaking wild, chat. Like, look at this complete pullback on that move. Filled up the range. Got some pretty nice range over here. You see, like, price came down, created a structure, TetraFX entry confirmation to fill the range towards that resistance point. It's filled the range, and now we're having some kind of a pullback over here. Also, it's really good because the other reason why this was such a good move, that daily bias was literally at a 0.40% negative, so it's just on the verge of trending, but yeah, it was not yet daily bias, so not yet trending to the downside. And that 0.40%, just like his POC, point of control, is kind of also a point of control for TFX concepts, 0.45%. Right? Because we've seen time and time again, like, price come close to that barrier. It's a psychological barrier where price can actually reverse from. Right? But if we break through that psychological barrier, 0.45, then you start to get more of a trending market condition. So you could look at it from that perspective as well, comparing it to the Fabio's POC. So that was a confluence as to how this trade also played out there. So you see, it's nothing new, chat. It's really nothing new. I think if you go on the WAP database, if you're fully locked in, you're gonna see results. So I don't see why not. You know, I don't see why not. The only difference between seeing results and not seeing results is just simply just not really putting yourself out there properly 100%. Remember, because like trading is one of those things where there are people putting 100%. So if you only put like 50%, 70%, then how can you compete? Major dump building on the hourly. Look, gold is trying. What is gold trying? Trying to set up? Maybe it's going to create a head and shoulders there. Similar thing that happened up here. And then continue to dump downwards. Because you tapped just a bit 65%, but there's a little bit more range below that 65% mark. You still have about 120 pips down towards the support. Yeah, nice. Yeah, if it does that, then that's going to look pretty good. Completely mop it up. It is still down. Gold is down negative 1.60% right now. Three feet from gold. Yeah, the same recorded PA. Chat, that was freaking crazy, man. Like 923. We can go a month back and we can go take his same trade. His same trade a month ago. It should be in the same place, right? I think it's what trading futures. This is still the 5-minute chart over there. There was sometime, I think this is his trade right here. Wait, let's go back. I was in Jan. I was Jan 26th. I was Jan 26th. So his trade was, yeah, pretty much right here. This was his same trade. I believe that was that same area. Yeah, you got quite a nice push. What time was that interview done? We can see when they met up. This was at a 9 a.m. Eastern. That was a New York session. So what would be interesting yeah, basically this is when they were sitting there. So looks like they did plan it. They did plan it for a New York session open. So they can get that New York session volume to increase the probability of him catching as well a trade with volume during the podcast. Because yeah, sometimes you just gotta need like volume. You need like you definitely gotta need volume. It's like timing is everything. Timing is everything, right? So it's coming in during New York session time, like right now. Getting that volume in at the same time so price can play out. That's also why we trade at the times we trade, because we can get similar reactions. We got it here at this time we got it here at the London Open, which is most people who are gonna trade US 100 or Nasdaq. Most of the time they are quite they're New York session traders most of the time. But you see, you still got some pretty decent London Open volume that came in that helped make that move happen. Is he a hyper scalper? No, he's not a hyper scalper. But he's a lot more tighter on the stop losses than I am. You think my stops are tight? His stop losses are tighter than my stops. I'm pretty sure. The way he was trading there, he's more aggressive on the stop, or let's say rather he's more aggressive on the stop. So he believes, and the same way I believe, I would rather be wrong about the trade fast than have to be sitting in drawdown. So I'd rather have my trades play out much faster and be in profit, and even take a more aggressive approach on my SL to kind of like trail positions And if the price goes against me, I'd rather just have that hit my stop loss quick, you know, because in trading, I don't know, like people are going to lie to you and say swing trading is safer. It's not safer. It just takes longer for your stop loss to hit. That's the only difference. So from a scalper's mental model for us, since we've already understood that from trial and error, we'd rather be wrong quicker and be right faster. Because at least if we're right, we're going to get a very nice trade that's right. Right? If we're wrong, okay, whatever, you know, manage your risk. Like I was only risking like maybe $2,000 to make 3,000, 10,000 bucks. Right? So if you're right properly. If you're wrong, you know, but you manage your risk at the end of the day. So that's kind of like the edge that we see in the market, as opposed to people who do like something like this and have like a really big stop. So for me, I've seen that he starts with a decent sized stop loss, maybe similar actually to me. And then his approach is more aggressive in securing the profit as it's going in your favor. So he's also looking for those distribution moves. He's looking for a distribution move. But his approach is slightly different because it's using the order flow thing. But you see, at the end of the day, candlesticks are not going to know if what order flow is using. They're just going to, candles are going to move based off of structure at the end of the day. You know, it's either going to be a good setup or not a good setup. I've removed my TP and trailing the 1 minute, every support formed. I'm going to move below it. I think what would benefit the most if you're planning on maximizing gains on a 1 minute play, and it's a reason why he uses the second charts as well, because you see, I don't use a second chart. So it's harder for me to trail a 1 minute candle because the 1 minute candles are much faster in the pullbacks. They can give back quite a lot of gains even after quite a decent move up. Right, like if you see, for example, right over here, price moved up about like 60 points, but it swiftly moved back down around 86 points, correct? So if you're gonna trail and still get it on the 1 minute, you'd have to trail on the second shot, correct? Because that way, at least if it starts breaking lows, and that's typically what he does, trails like a bit of lows on the second shot, it's a bit more clear. You get a lot more detail. Whereas here on the 1 minute, we have no detail besides just that move up and down. So I think, yeah, that'll be quite interesting. Trailing seconds charts to maximize gains. Out only 0.5% profit, but we don't cry. Yeah, very nice, man. I could have secured 0.5 yesterday too. I think 0.5 is also not too bad. Not bad. A win is a win, right? 0.5 as loading up for the bomber clot. Because, you know, when you're securing at 0.5, it also just means maybe that price action didn't play out the way you had anticipated it to play out. Correct? For XY reasons. So it would be better for you to secure something than nothing at all, because it could have just gone back into break even. Which is kind of the case a lot of the time when you don't see it play out the way you wanted to play out or support the structure you wanted to support. Most of the time, it's better that you secure something. So I think pretty good. Well done. Right, let's see right now. Price came back up to the shotgun entry and slightly retesting that area. Chat, I don't think I'm gonna stream tomorrow. This YouTube algorithm is bullshit. I think I gotta leave like a couple of days off social media, maybe for it to catch up or something. This came back into the high volume area right over here. Yeah, I'm not gonna stream for the rest of the week. But high volume area. See if next week we can see some better results from the algorithm. Otherwise, I gotta have to buy a Bugatti and make a lifestyle video. Oh, man. Yeah, but you see this? Came back right to the high volume area over here. This is where basically those high confirmations were. There's a high value area. I think Fabio calls them value, something with value, correct? I call it like a high volume area. So this is where they got like loads of volume come in. That's when the entry confirmations were triggered. Rent one? Yeah, you can rent a Bugatti. It'll be sick though. Yeah, but you see, it just came back down to retest. It's a high volume area. It's the same thing as on Gold Spot. So I still have this section over here. You see how I came back to retest? I think what it was retesting was the price distribution from here rather, because this was the range. So you can see it right here as well happen from that mini accumulation that we spoke about. Right over here, price came in. You see that retest on that little mini head and shoulders breakout that we spoke about here. That mini retest 1, 2. It's the same thing from here, the breakout of this section. See, like price comes back to kind of retest that zone, right? Because this is the range high and this is the range low to where the distribution confirmed. It's a high volume area right over here as well, where the price distribution was. We came back to retest that zone one last time again to follow through. You see, we got sellers back into the market, correct? It's just the same way as here. High volume area came back to retest. They got buyers back into the market. Yeah, US 100 actually moves a bit differently from GJ. I said recently it was kind of like a similar to a GJ, but yeah, the more I'm looking at US 100 here, it is quite it's different. It moves. It definitely moves a bit more. The PA on it seems to be clean as well. Provided I think you're coming in at the right points. So you got like either London Open or New York Session Open or NYSE. Provided you're coming in during those key times. I'm not sure about pre-sessions though. I don't know if pre-sessions are going to play out as nice. Something like gold. Gold does amazing during pre-sessions. Nas grabs are important to the move. Or you like liquidity grabs. Hmm. Got a nice little inverted right here. Left shoulder at right shoulder. Boom. See, that's the point A, because that's where from when the move had come in with loads of volume, that's when it stopped. Right here, it stopped. It started to slow down, show some rejections. Like this, price came in. Then you see it stopped. Stopped. So that's when you're looking for a buy. Then break some key highs. See that high volume area? You see this? High volume area. See that reaction? Then it comes back into it. Boom. Because you may still have the same players left over here. Or sometimes what I think it is they can't key in all their positions all at one time. So they have to do it in batches. Right? Because it maybe creates like some kind of a slippage. Or for whatever technical reason, they can't key it all in this one go here. So they got to do it in batches. So that's why usually you see even the market moves like this. And you kind of wonder, you know, it kind of stops you out of break even. You get mad about it. Sometimes it stops you out of stop loss. You get mad about it. So it's also just a technical thing. I think you're just going to get caught in it as sometimes you just get caught in it. So it like pushes up. A lot of orders came in there. It came back down. So there can be more orders. Because remember, for price to move up also, you need sellers in the market for price to move up. You need someone to be willing to sell you the amount that you want to buy right over here. So you can't just buy. I don't know, you can't, I don't think you can just buy, you know, like if you buy, maybe it's like a bit reckless because you lose money because you're oversaturating the current market price. So that's why usually when you phone in a broker, the broker's job or the market maker's job is to saturate you in properly so you don't lose money, right? So if they have orders that can sell you, then you can buy. So sometimes that's why we have this situation. You got first push, then it has to come back in. Maybe you got a few more orders you want to key in. You want to put like 30 million, boom, but you still want to put in another 20, but they can't put the 20 right here, but they can put it after the open. So after the open, when there's a lot more liquidity, then they can key in the rest of your 20 million at that price point. So that's what I've typically seen can be the case to why we have those certain reactions in the market, and why we've seen it happen over and over and over again with the TFX entry model confirmations, as we have here and here as well. You see, you got a lot of sellers in the market. That's why I said like there's still room for the range here to get filled. You still had about 122 pips, but it looks like some more orders were to be getting filled and then to continue to put it into the market potentially. It's quite crazy, huh? Yes, looks on top it did, and then bottom you want for structure and then take it. Let's see. This is like a fake out here, little accumulation manipulation. Boom, break of the high, break and retest. Faked out. This accumulation got faked out. Price came back in, then pushed later. Retap of the previous entry models, then completely moved down. But in terms of setups right now, there's again no setup. It will need to create more structure. It would need to create more structure. Iran's supreme leader should be very worried now. This is yesterday. Trump said. All right, chat. I think I'm gonna head out now. It's gonna be kind of a long weekend, for me here. I'm gonna try not post anything on YouTube for the rest until Monday. See if the algorithm can kind of like shape up in that sense. But yeah, we'll still be trading in the mentorship and well, sending signals, and we'll have a simulation this Sunday as well. So I'll see you all on Monday here on YouTube. I will see you all on Monday. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Take care. Take care.